This is a public service.
Got a deceased person in this house here. 1101 Cordova, Daytona Beach on scene. You guys got that camera tape out, huh? Keep the cameras away, huh? The field training officer camera tape.
Alright.
There we go. Perfect. Perfect.
He wanted to put that camera tape on.
These guys be alright.
Look at that. Look at that.
What?
Blue,
You got the camera tape.
blue line tattoo on his arm.
Hey, just wrap around the mailbox and go around that truck.
All the obvious spots not to go, especially since there's no trespassing signs up there. Sergeant, any brief description of what's going on? I know it's a death call, but...
That's all I know. I'm just happy to pull right now.
Oh, cool.
Next if they're here, I'm going to let them do their thing.
Well, that's it. All right. We'll be out of your hair. We won't mess with you. Unless you mess with us. That's how it goes, usually.
Why would I do that?
No, you don't. I did hear about the sergeant or the supervisor's meeting where, like, if I come up and make a complaint, turn your back on me. I don't know. That's what one of the sergeants told me. I was like, man, that's bad.
That's kind of...
That was some really. That was some.
I actually got about 4 days of work left and I'm retired.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Well, congrats on that. I remember when I first started, I was doing all the motorcycle training and the bike training. I think you were on some of that stuff.
I was.
So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
25 years or 20?
27.
God dang. What are you gonna do after this?
I'm not sure yet.
Fish? You fish?
I don't. I'm sure I'll have plenty of projects to do.
Come film with us.
No, I'll pass on that. Let you guys do your thing.
So with only
Sir?
so with only days remaining, do you feel like you can speak pretty freely?
No, you're not going to get me on that one.
No.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's cool though. I mean, shoot, I started in '99. I would have been done with the FRS now. I should have, but just no money back then. You know how it was.
Still has it.
When did you start? Is it 94? 4?
Yep.
Yeah, they're probably brought you in like, hey, $10 an hour. Come on, let's go. Maybe 8.
Maybe.
How we doing, gentlemen?
What's up?
Good. How about
Nice to
you?
see you again, man. How you
Yeah,
guys
good to
been?
see you.
Good.
Yeah, we're good. We got everything we need. Checked out. 47 minutes.
Imagine 27 years. Holy smokes.
Good.
That's a long time.
Oh my God.
I'll let you know.
I certainly will. Thank you
Like
much.
I said, okay, perfect. You guys are working on the other stuff?
So we're pretty much done with everything else until further notice.
Cool. Thanks for always being cool with me when it's out there, and congrats on you.
problem,
That's a
yeah.
very nice thing to hear. You always been cool.
No problem. You guys have a good one?
Well, enjoy retirement, Sergeant. So what do we got going on out here?
Right now we're doing a death investigation. That's about all I'm allowed to tell you. We do have a deceased party, and
Gotcha.
everything else basically gets handled by the detectives at this point.
Gotcha.
I saw they did a show up. That's still valid in this?
So the show up was in reference to a male who was...
Yeah, what's that message say? I'm curious.
Yeah, 26. It was the lieutenant on the phone call.
Yeah, the show ups. I remember they stopped those for a while and then they brought it back.
Yeah, so the show up today was reference to another male who was potentially on scene when the subject was found deceased, who basically ran because he personally had a warrant, so there's other officers out around him. We just need to make sure we have the right person so we can get the information from him.
Yeah,
Try and
makes
find out what happened.
Makes sense. We have a dead body and you got running.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always put your feelers
Daytona officer here was like taking, they were doing something with the drugs over there in that one area. I think she got arrested. It was a female that either got arrested or charged. But it's like that all the way down.
Oh yeah, it's constant. It's all the time.
Did you hear about that? One of the female officers. They made a T-shirt about it. It's like Signal 31 or something like that.
A Daytona officer?
Good. All right. All right. I think we're good. You got all the.
Yeah, that guy was, when I first started, he was doing some bicycle training. Yeah, that stupid ass stuff. Never fucked with me while I was out here.
That's the only reason he didn't get asked the question.
Yep. Never screwed with me. And this detective here too.
Confirm with the. Okay. Yeah, you said question.
Which one, Howell or the other guy?
Yeah, because I emailed him asking him, "Are you the owl that beat the fucking the guy for a noise complaint?" And he's like, "Nope, that ain't me." What is that? I gotta make a database of photographs.
Yeah, hook up with that no-name coder guy. Is this guy over here, is he an officer also?
No, I think he's their witness or call-in or something. It might be his car here or something. But he don't look like he drives a truck, maybe. But apparently no.
Al, you want a written statement from our RP?
So he's the RP is the report.
Interesting.
Huh?
Interesting.
This Howard. Like, who told him to put the crime scene tape up? Just him on his own?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Who told you to put that camera tape up?
Supervisors.
Supervisor? So your supervisor told you?
Yeah.
Do you remember who?
Yeah, the one that was just here.
The guy who was just here, huh?
Yeah.
He said, quick, cameras are coming, put up the camera tape?
No, he said go ahead and put up a crime scene tape. Technically, it's a crime scene until we figure out what's going on, so we usually do it anyways.
Yeah. Especially when the cameras show up, though,
Those
right?
are,
Who's the other guy?
Was it? Yeah. Sergeant that we talked about?
He said, cameras, quick, put up the camera tape.
Is that what he said?
No.
I think a couple of you guys beat us on scene this time.
No, not here.
No? I was just down the road, and I think you guys were here before.
Don't try to involve us.
Yeah.
Nice try, buddy.
What did you guys see?
You got any weapons on you there?
Any weapons? Yeah, right.
Put my hand in your pocket.
That's what Fort Orange does. Hey man, I just want to pat you down for weapons.
Oh wow, yeah, that's
a different. That wasn't my understanding of the pat down.
Terry, yeah, you gotta do the Terry. I don't know, Gobel's been pretty good. You think he knows the five?
Yeah, we'll ask him. So, Gobel, if one of the people came up to you and asked you a question and you did know the answer to it, would you make a good faith effort to find out the answer to that question?
Yeah.
So there's 5 freedoms secured to us by the First Amendment. Could you tell me what those 5 freedoms are?
The first amendment offhand right now, no, but I'll certainly look it up. From memory, probably not, but if you'd like me to do some research.
Yeah, so I mean, it's all about good faith, right? Yeah, so can I leave you my email address or something like that, and you can just follow back up, or you want me to just run into you again?
Easier for you.
Well, I mean,
yeah, as soon as I'm finished with what I got to do here, I have no issues, absolutely.
all right.
He got me on this thing too, and I only got 3 out of the 5.
Oh, did you? Well, doing better than I am offhand.
Well, I'm sure if the, I'm
or do you
sure
want mine, or?
Yeah, sure. What's yours?
I'll write mine down.
Yeah.
And,
You're really trying to make me do the work, though.
well, I'll take yours too, just in case. Because sometimes our emails, the way our security system with the agency set up with the firewalls and
yeah,
stuff.
you guys never want to receive my emails,
Yeah,
do
it
you?
won't. Sometimes it won't let us receive them, but it should be okay if I send one to you. dbpd.us.
I bet, if pressed, though, I bet you could, think and at least come up with one of them, right? We're talking about the First Amendment, right?
Let me write this down again so you can actually read it, because my handwriting's horrible.
Isn't that,
And then
No,
I'll
even
get
though I want to CID guys, that's not cheap. Disclosed, chief.
And
The
then
guy
I'll
that
get-
we ran into.
And then I'll get yours too.
It's letters, Letters, of O-F, Phocion, P-H-O-C-I-O-N, letters of Phocion,
P-H-O-C-I-O-N.
C-I-O-N.
Letters of Phocion.
At gmail.com.
Gmail. All right, one more time. Run that question.
All right,
through.
I'll take these, man.
There's 5 freedoms secured to us by the First Amendment of the Constitution.
Okay. Oh, and you're curious. Okay,
I'm
gotcha.
I'm just wondering if you could tell me what those 5 freedoms are.
5 freedoms of the First Amendment. How long are you going to be here?
It depends on Karen down here if she wants us off her property or
She gets
not.
mad about the car.
I'll give you a hint. Fuck you, Goebel.
Oh, that's freedom of speech, obviously.
That's one. He's got one. But I
And
don't.
we're actually here doing one of them also. So
Yeah.
what do you think that one
What
is?
is it? Freedom of, what is that? Freedom of press?
Yeah, freedom of press. Right.
We got freedom of speech, freedom of press, was it religion?
That's right. Yep.
And so that's 3.
So if I wanted to go to your supervisor and start complaining about my treatment here today, that'd be another one. So what do you figure that one is?
See how we would word that. It's obviously a right that you have. So you have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of press. What would that one be considered?
So that one's actually petition. Petition
there
for
you go.
redress
Okay.
of grievances.
Okay.
And then the last one is it's gathering in public.
Okay.
Yeah, so peaceful assembly.
Peaceful assembly. Hi, sir. How are you?
I live right next door.
Okay. We're in the middle of an investigation currently. We do have a deceased party on scene, so right now we're just going through our policy and procedure to follow up.
Okay, they were the owner and the helper came out.
Yeah, we're in contact with the owner.
Okay. And I knocked on the door this morning to see if I could help. And nobody answered the
Yeah,
door.
we're not sure if he was here at the time or not.
Okay. Need anything?
No, I think we're good. No, we're good. I got it.
Yeah,
Started that I did.
He's in the call.
Okay.
Well, I can guarantee now that you put me on the spot, I won't forget it.
Well, there's a pretty good acronym that'll make it even easier to forget. It's RAPS, R-A-P-P-S, RAPS, Religion, Assembly, Petition, Press, and Speech.
Nice. I definitely won't forget it now.
All right, well, I'll definitely ask you the next time I see
Law
you.
enforcement and military love those acronyms, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Take care, sir.
So how long have you known him?
A couple years. A couple years. He's a pretty good guy.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, he is.
He's good at it.
He
He's
is.
definitely
Yeah,
good at
he's
it.
much better than I am, that's for sure.
Yeah, he showed. Did you guys get anywhere? I don't know if you were with him. What was it? Last week we had. We ended up having a pursuit and.
Yeah, we were on scene
canine
for
deployments.
that,
I remember
yeah.
I saw him. I didn't remember if I saw you. I was basically secure and I was already at the station when it happened. I was like, well, I gotta go help with that. So I ended up just helping with.
Yeah, we were on
perimeter stuff.
scene for the first dog bite. We didn't get over that Pelican for the.
Yeah, I remember
second
seeing
one.
him walking on Pelican as I was leaving. So I think he ended up talking to one of the sergeants that was on scene for a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's probably why I didn't see you because I was over on the other side helping with that.
I had to cut out after the first scene. So.
So out of curiosity, obviously you don't have to answer if you don't want to. What made you get into it?
I just see a lot of injustice, and I see a lot of double standards and hypocrisy, and I was a victim of I'll call it abuse of power, right? I'm a productive member of society, and I was just treated wrongly, you know what I mean? And
That's unfortunate.
I started looking into it, and it just seems like there's this double standard with the police where they can get away with all of the things that they try to hold you
That
to
they're
this.
supposed to be enforcing.
Yeah, so I've just got a problem with that.
Yeah,
It's,
I would disagree with you.
yeah,
I would absolutely have a problem with that as well. Luckily, I mean, I've been with Daytona for 10 years, and I haven't been involved in any of it. I've obviously heard about it. I know that he's on top of a couple things and has made some public records.
and I think we've run in a couple times.
Yeah,
and
I've talked to you
you've
a few
always
times.
seemed like a pretty level-headed and cool guy. So
that's one of the most important things, in my opinion, about doing this job. Is just you can't take any of it personally.
Yeah.
We have policies and procedures and state laws and that we have to follow, and as long as we're following those, I don't have any other reason but to be polite to people that show up and ask questions. And if it's information I'm not allowed to give, I'll tell you, hey, it's an active investigation. That's information I can't give you. you know, I have no issues telling you, yeah, we unfortunately we do have a deceased person on scene. I'm obviously not going to give you his name, you know, but other than that, you know, people that, as soon as people start showing up, they lose their heads. They get stressed out, they get frustrated, and that's when people make mistakes.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, you know, unfortunately, there are people and there are officers that they think they can just say and do what they want just because they're cops.
Yeah.
And I've never agreed with it. I definitely don't condone it. So
Yeah, I think that the people have become complacent, really. And
I think that's a lot of it. I mean, it's pretty easy to see the ones that just abuse their power because they like to abuse their power.
Yeah.
That's pretty evident. I think a lot of it is either just a lack of training or they've been here for so long that it's just like they just don't care. It's just like, whatever. You know, I'll just do what I want to do. I'll say what I want to say. They forget that you're still human beings. You still have rights.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to deal with. It's hard to do what we have to do, and on top of that, deal with another officer who's on scene who doesn't have the appropriate information. It gets difficult. But if we didn't have people like you guys,
Yeah, man,
nobody would
it's
know.
our civic duty to,
Nobody
to
would
come
know
out
about
here.
it.
Is this guy bothering you?
Sir, do you have an identification on you?
Yes. You have your police. How do I know you're a real police
Yeah,
officer?
you want it?
Yeah, if you don't mind. You can cover your address up. I don't want that.
Our police ID, our addresses isn't on our police IDs.
That's really you?
Yep, that's me. From a long time ago.
Look at that. Same hair, or you got a little bit less or more?
I got, let's see, a little bit more.
It's transferred to his face.
That's right. I got to clean that up a little bit. Yeah,
Thanks
little,
for complying
little bit
and
more.
providing your ID. That's
Oh,
nice.
absolutely. That's what we're here for.
But you know what's funny about the ID? I don't know if I ever told him in person, but when you guys ask for ID, you have to do it for a crime and things like that. But do you know why they provide you identification at all?
Why people provide us
Why
identification?
the department does, yeah.
Why they provide us with photo ID? Probably, I would imagine, mostly if it's requested by the
Off-duty,
public,
yep.
you know, whether we're on duty or off duty. I mean, we have an obligation to identify ourselves to anyone who requests it, especially if we're working and in uniform. Just because my name is on my vest doesn't
And
mean...
you have a different name on your badge.
Yeah,
so
and the badge is a memorial badge for Officer Rayner. Obviously, I know you're familiar with that, but you know, there's a different name on the badge as there is on the name tag. And part of our job is to make sure we're required to
Pretty cool.
give our identification when someone requests it when we're working. You know, and some people they go through the thing where it's like, well, it's right here. That doesn't.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
always
do
do
that.
that. I went to rookie school with old Detter right there.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah.
He's been here for a while.
Yeah, looks like he has.
He's doing crime scene stuff now. Does a lot of the crime scene investigations.
Was he a sharp tool in the shed when you were going through?
Well, average. It was just normal. There was only like 3 people that you knew, he probably knows from going to rookie school, but you get these ones that are going to bring the coffee to the instructors. You're like, yep, that bitch is going to be a little suck ass. And there was one.
Not too sure as far as like Daytona State. I know Daytona Beach Police Department has just started their own academy recently.
Have they really?
Yeah, I think
that's
this is. They just had a graduation a couple maybe yesterday or the day before for one of the classes. I think they've only done maybe 2 or 3 classes so far. They partnered with Daytona State College.
That's cool. Yeah, that helps.
But I went to the academy in Seminole County at Seminole State College.
But it's all the same. It's the same mentality.
It's the same. Florida Department of Law Enforcement requires the same stuff, same mentality, same book stuff you have to cover in the book. So for the most part, it's pretty much the same. I can tell you the defensive tactics and the physical portion that I went through in Volusia or in Seminole County is nowhere near what I heard Daytona.
Better in Daytona?
I heard it's way easier.
Easier in Daytona? Yeah.
I mean, we got put through it every day in Seminole.
Yeah, because he was in our group. Kelly Fishbaugh was in our group.
He just retired recently.
Yeah, I would have been retired too. Shit, you know what I mean? I would have been retired. Dude.
Yeah, and paid for life, right?
Yes, sir.
About the timing and exact, I have to remember the exact
That's fine.
timing.
Just a best guesstimation. If you happen to remember exactly what it is, you can absolutely let us know.
because I can go to the boards.
Yeah, like in the rookie schools, you had like 3 people that were there. You had one that would just bang everybody. You had another one that would bring the coffee to the instructor. I don't know where he went. And you have the little pretty boy that jumped from department to department. That is shit. You got me. That goes in and works for 8 or 9 years.
Sees what's going on. So they can be a part of this.
That would
Politics
be
and
something for the medical examiner.
But I had the easiest job. I rode a
Depends
motorcycle.
on how busy you are. If it's something that we're thinking
When you get that, it's like that's your specialized unit. You do what you
this
want.
one, I'd say probably within the next
So
I'm
mostly
not
just
sure if they're gonna release it.
taking care of crosswalks. stuff like that.
Basically, finding a tree and run radar, and then write a few tickets, and go eat lunch. Get off of lunch, go handle a crash at 5 o'clock, and then between 1 and 4, you find a place to go hide yourself out.
I'm not sure.
Take a nap.
Phone number. You give it to the detective by chance? Okay, he's gonna probably the detective will be the one that does the notification. It's sad. It's 70. We'll probably either have some officers in that area go up and talk with her, or the detective will contact her.
What do you think of this guy? Decent gun?
Doble? Yeah, Doble seems like one of the good ones.
There's a bunch of knives.
He tells me he likes to throw them.
Just, it's unfortunate. It's definitely sad. Not something we enjoy, but it's part of the job.
Just look at that, man.
Just your best of your recollection, absolutely. If you get any kind of information later that is a specific time, it's fine.
We're all good here.
He's got one of those. He's got one in his pocket. Never can have too many.
I called him. He said, "Why did you call me? What do you need?" I said, "Just want to check on you. Where are you?" He said, "Go to the house."
When was that? Do you remember? That was yesterday?
Around 6 p.m.
I noticed this sign over here on the house, audio recording.
Yeah.
So are you aware?
As far as we know, there aren't any surveillance videos available. There
That's too
probably
bad.
was at one point, but the house is basically abandoned. The gentleman that owns the house was in the process of remodeling it.
That's Monier.
And, yeah, and he had kind of knew this guy a little bit from where he's from, and hired him to come down and help him basically rip the floors out, redo the carpets.
How many knives you got? You got 1 or 2? 2. You like them for just safety stuff, or?
A little bit of both. Most of the time, to be honest with you, I use them for. I've actually used one of my knives before for like seat belts. I've used one before. We had a suicidal person years ago that had tied himself off to the bridge, and they were negotiating with him, and I happened to notice that where he was, if he had jumped while he was tied off, absolutely would have probably killed himself, but if he had jumped without it, he would have just landed in the water. It was only maybe 10 feet, so I ran up real quick and just cut the rope. So I was like, hey, worst case scenario, if he goes, he's just gonna swim. So
That's smart.
It's handy. Luckily, I've never had to even think about using one for any kind of like self-defense situation or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's what the gun's for, right?
That's exactly right. I've never used this one either. I used my rifle a couple years ago, but
Is that the one that was with
up on
Bess?
Piccadilly with Richie and a couple other guys.
Richie
from
and
Night
Bess,
Shift,
I think, was there.
Yeah, Dominic was there after SWAT got called out.
So you fired?
Yes.
Did you hit where you were aiming for?
We're thinking. They never told us 100%. We know he was struck in the leg, and it was a very small hole, and it basically shattered his femur. So we're fairly positive it was a rifle round, but the state attorney's office never told us 100%.
He survived though?
Yeah, he survived. He's not going to ever walk on his leg. He walks with a cane now.
Is he walking in jail, or is he?
He was sentenced towards the beginning of the year. Sentenced to 6 counts of attempted homicide of a law enforcement officer and 1 count of aggravated assault.
They did that to the guy over there in up in North Daytona there near the school where it was a 7-hour standoff.
Is that one here, or?
Yeah, I just got all the body camera. I got 100 body camera footage from him. He had a flashlight in his hand and they unloaded on him and shot him twice, and that was it.
That was here in Daytona?
Yeah, Richie was there.
How long ago was that one?
2021, October 4th, 2021. He got 7 counts of attempted murder.
It's probably the same one that I'm referring to then.
Is it?
Yeah.
The man with the pickup truck and he was held up in the back?
Yeah, that was when I was involved in.
Had a flashlight?
Yeah, he had a flashlight on when there was a 6'5" officer that was out there with him. The deposition is horrible. It's like he was cussing at the guy between the fence or something like that. And then he had a flashlight on him, and then he armed himself after that. 2 nights before, they were there because the roommate was shooting at him, and the officer somehow or another, there was another extra patrol there, and they saw the door open, they saw him, started cussing at him, the tall officer did. And the deposing attorney was like, is this how you normally talk to people? And there was no shot at that time, so. Yeah, that was a bad one. They were talking on the body cameras like, can we kill this guy already?
Yeesh.
He's a detective's family member. Do you know that? One of your detectives?
One of our detectives is related to the suspect. Subject.
Chirillo, I think it is. Yeah, I think they're appealing it.
Yeah, we've already got notification of the appeal.
That's sad. Yeah, you gotta walk up. That's why I asked for ID. You gotta walk up and be like, "Hey, I'm a Daytona Beach police officer." They had 911 calls. He called his family, and the family were calling saying, "Hey, the roommate's there trying to kill him again," and it was actually the police officers. He didn't know it was cops. Make sure you do that all the time when you come over. Hey, I'm a Daytona Beach police officer.
Yeah, common practice for me.
For some reason, the other guys didn't.
Yeah, there was in the trial there was a lot of body cam footage that I got to see that I hadn't been able to see prior from other officers.
Yeah, they were
testimony apparently that because obviously they sequestered us at trial, so we weren't allowed in there when they were testifying with the other officers or witnesses, and so we had really no information until basically after it was done when we were able to actually watch some of the body cam footage.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's a scary. I was out there that night. You guys were all way in there. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I was a little ways back in there. Wait for the medical examiner.
Yeah, that's it.
The pole work better to keep the
Just stability, that way I'm not off shaking it, and just I can be a little lazier with it.
Yeah, these are the photos. That's his AR. That's the leg of the shot. That's him right there. I was told they stepped on him. Someone just stepped on him or something like that. And then they've got this one. I've got another photo of this guy, and then there's your subject there. And they were taking selfies with him, smiling and stuff like that.
Hopefully we don't see one of Doble out there.
You're not going to see one of me smiling at him. Like
There's one guy that was on his phone, and he was receiving pictures of a young female in like a skimpy little top too while this is all going on.
During the middle of it.
Yep. That's like yeah, they were trying to justify how they were in fear.
Yes, it's a black male, all black clothing.
Yeah, you must not been first on scene then, I would imagine.
No, I was basically showing up with a group that Lieutenant Marr was with because I had gone back to my truck, grabbed my rifle, and as I was coming on scene with them, I was letting them know, hey, I'm coming up to you guys, and that's when the first shots were fired.
Yeah, they were trying to get me out of there and keep me out of there, and at night I'll wear a vest, but I'm like, well, mind your own business. Everybody's out in their front yard.
There's not enough going on. It's, every person in the neighborhood was out at that point. The school was on lockdown. It's like, why worry about one person with a camera? I mean, every officer on scene's got a camera.
They do.
The news media had probably shown up at that point. But basically, once SWAT got activated and they got on scene, they took the positions that we were in, and then we got pulled out to go obviously do the after action stuff with FDLE and photographs.
Do you remember if they? This is switching the gears on this one, but. Do you remember if you got like a training for open carry on your own property? Because the chief promised the woman over on Beachside. You got that?
Yes, we did.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they sent out all the legal bulletins. We had a briefing. All the shifts had a briefing about it.
They dismiss all those charges?
Yeah, they did. I just did an interview with them yesterday.
This was Beachside, right?
Oh, Wild Olive.
Beachside.
Yeah. Really good guy. I mean, they're affluent people. They got good jobs, and he
heard about that one.
He almost lost his job because of it. His daughter's got PTSD. She's gone to psychologists and stuff like that. It's like,
and that was from, I don't have all the detailed information, but from what I know,
a dog was loose was for like
chasing
5 to 10 minutes,
or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was 5 to 10 minutes. The dog was over there at the neighbor's house. They were handling a signal 20 call. Dog ran loose. The cops never told them to put their dog up, and the dog ran over there and chased the daughter. He sent me the photo and the video of the daughter running up the stairs from the dog.
And then he basically comes out with his gun.
Get your dog. No, he carries all the time, like me.
I always carry. So he's on his own. He's at his own house on his own property. I mow the lawn with open carry.
Yeah. So like this is his house. Imagine like 100 where that door is. That's where his he was at, but at the bottom of the steps.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that you have to carry a gun all the time now, but I'm always carrying.
You got
Mowing the lawn, cleaning the pool.
That's not necessarily the unfortunate thing about that incident, though. The unfortunate
thing about the incident was the fact that he was arrested.
Yeah.
And then DCF was called. They doing all that. It was like retaliation. It's like
Yeah, exactly what we were talking about a minute ago.
Yeah, a lot of times too, if like our policy is any case with any kind of disturbance or an arrest of a biological parent or guardian, if there's a juvenile involved, our policy is to contact DCF. And we basically provide them the information. DCF makes the decision on if they're going to do the investigation on their end and come out or not.
all right, Hal. If I don't see you again, man, talk to you soon. See ya.
He looks so fancy with that new haircut.
Is that what he had?
Got his head shaved.
I emailed him because the other Hal was beating up a guy with a radio, being loud, and I emailed him. I was like, were you the one that beat up the guy with the radio? And he's like, no, that ain't me. So,
Never a dull moment in Daytona Beach.
that's it, man. It's at the expense of the lovely people that provide you the power and the money to do it. Some of them. All right, I'm out. You want to get out of here?
What we're here for.
You be safe, all
What
right?
we're supposed to be here for. I appreciate it.
How
guys.
long do you have before you retire?
10 years.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. They changed our retirement to 20 a couple of years ago, so I'm at 10 years this year. So
Yeah, I think we talked about something like that before when I saw you over on the other side.
yeah. So I'll be doing this for a little while. See what happens with potentials for any promotions coming up. Maybe try to get on the sergeant's list.
That's it. What's the FPO's name that was here that put up the crime scene? Do you know?
The one that was right here.
Yeah.
Officer Mowry.
Maori?
I'm an FTO too. They just haven't given me patches. I came off the full-time FTO list a while ago when I went over to K9 for a little bit.
Can you train more people for us?
Yeah. That's what I put my paperwork back in a couple weeks ago to go back to the
Yeah.
full-time FTO list. So that's the plan.
Because there was FTOs on that beachside call for the arrest, and those guys will now think that, nah, they probably wouldn't, because I'm sure the shit hit the fan and they're like, what the
Well, yeah.
fuck?
Now, if you asked them now, I'm sure their opinion would be different. But
I did get to speak to Lieutenant, what the hell is his name? We talked to him that one day. Harris.
Kelsey Harris, Lieutenant Harris.
Yeah, I got to talk to him that day. He was reluctant on answering any questions. He just said that, have a good day. Have a good day.
Hey, said, I'm not going anywhere, so
I'm standing right here. You know how it goes.
yeah, gotta love it.
Well, that's cool,
I do
man.
think it's funny when I see you guys show up and everybody's like, "Oh, if you don't need me, I'm gonna get out of here."
Well, they did on the. Were you working the robbery call that led two guys running up Nova Road and went over the?
Yeah, I was just talking to him about that a few minutes ago. I saw you there when you were talking to one of the supervisors. It was at the end of our shift, so I had a perimeter spot, and once they cleared us from that, I saw you talking with I think it was Sergeant Marr.
I was Jay Marr.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
He's a sergeant too.
Yep.
Yeah. All these fucking Mars. It's like an incestuous department.
Yeah, there's 3 of them.
Christopher, Jay, and Richard. But yeah, he was alright. He was just chatting with him for a minute. But yeah, they said it right over the radio. Heads up, there's a First Amendment auto down here. There was 2 of us. They got it wrong. It didn't happen.
Nice try. Tricked you.
You don't have anything to be afraid of. I mean,
As long as you're doing your job and following the rules, there's no reason why anybody with a camera showing up should bother you at all.
yeah.
I don't think I've ever once had a single issue with either one of you guys.
You know where? Maybe not for him, but you know where it happened from for me. Like Bessie the other day, he was telling me that I was calling 911 because I would get beat up, and I was getting beat up the other night. And he said I got fired from my police job when I was working there, and he called out the wrong department. He said, "Yeah, because you're violating constitutional rights." And that's when I start telling you, "Fuck you, motherfucker." That's it. That's where it starts right there. Otherwise, I can have a conversation like this all day long.
And you know what? I've talked to you, like I said, I've talked to you numerous times. I've never had an issue with you ever. But if you decide to show up to one of our calls and the first thing out of your mouth is "fuck you," there's nothing I can do about that. Nothing I can do about that. My personal opinion of how you decide to phrase things is irrelevant to the fact that you have the right to phrase it however you want.
That's true. Like I might say something about Debtor's. Wow. It looks a little bit different from when he worked, but it's not my thing. Or when I went to school. We're all younger. I think he was about 8 years older than everybody in there.
Yeah.
Late start. But no, that's where it starts right there. It's like you come up and say something, as soon as you lie or some bullshit, like, I'm like, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, you have to call people out. It's a big part of what we do. Call people out on their lies.
So that's what's funny, like
what's
when
the difference?
like for instance, if I were to get your address and home address, I could publish that legally all day long.
I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't think I ever even filled out the forms to have my information.
Maybe not, but if you did, even if you
got it, I can go on Google right now and type my name in, and it pretty much tell you
your voter's registration.
Yeah, it tells me every place I've ever lived, basically.
The reason why I say that is because they're so afraid. Like I've when officers are going to their house for their meal break or 10 cent, whatever they got, whatever the code is now, but they're like, oh, he followed me to my house, and they're like, I want to put stalking charges against him. I'm like, well, wait a second. You do this all day long. You post it on your website, the person's name, and then you click on it, and then it shows he's a resident of whatever Cedar Street,
this area or this street and this specific address.
And it's so funny how it's hypocritical.
Public information.
All right, I got something to get out of here. You want to get out of here?
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, Dale better. He probably can't.
I'm trying not to, at least.
He's walking over there. Some page.
Go there and get a good close-up.
No, I'll stay away from him. I don't like talking to people that much. There's very limited people, like whatever his name is here. What's that fucker's name now?
Howell.
Howell, yeah. Howell, he didn't fuck with me.
Yeah.
Get you back home, get your minivan.
All right, gentlemen.
Take it easy, man. See ya.
Yeah, well, I'll be here for a while.
Yeah, be safe, man.
Yeah, well, that's it from Cordova Street. We're out here today to ensure our natural rights are respected by those who swore an oath to support, protect, and defend the rights of the people. The purpose of all interactions is to peacefully promote government accountability and transparency. Please like, share, and subscribe so this message can reach as many people as possible. I implore you to peacefully seek redress to any and all of your grievances. This is a public service.